A couple South Korean movies have dropped on Netflix recently. The first one I watched was Mission Cross. Do you want to cross these missions? Let's find out. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing Mission Cross, which is about pretty simple premise. You have a guy who's a stay-at-home father. Well, not really a father because they don't have any kids, but husbands, put it that way. While the wife is a hard-working cop slash detective. However, is he really just a stay-at-home father? Why do I keep saying that? Husband, and will they find out? Hint, hint, they will because they somehow work on the same case. So, did I like this film? Okay, this is a pretty good film. I like the twists and turns, even though there's not really any twists and turns throughout, per se, of the whole father. God, why do I keep saying father? The wife-husband relationship. Yes, there's no twists and turns there. There are pretty good twists and turns, though, on who he's able to trust, who gets tortured, the action set pieces, and the overall comedic elements. So, like I said, the positives, I do think the acting and the overall action set pieces are pretty solid. When I go into a movie where it has a lot of action set pieces, I want to see something different, something that's very unique and you haven't seen in some action movies before. And this movie does it. It does it with a poop hose. That's all I'm going to say. And it's pretty damn good. It's good crashes. It's good stunt work. And it is something that I haven't seen before. So I give a thumbs up for that. The gunplay, pretty solid in this movie whatsoever. Yes, is it kind of unbelievable with how many people go down? Sure, but there is decent enough backstory to understand how the wife and the husband can achieve what they're doing. Like I said, the comedic elements, because she's a detective, she has three male cops that kind of work for her. Comedic galore through and throughout. It works, it's funny, and it had me rolling, laughing through and throughout. The twists and turns, you can say some of them were like, where it's like the believability was kind of through the roof of like, I don't know if it's really that far-fetched to believe it. However, I do like that the reasoning that there is a case is because of procurement fraud in the government. And it's like, mwah, I think that's a very solid script or very solid writing to have that because, you could look at procurement fraud in every single country in the world. Here, some people say what we're doing in Ukraine could be procurement fraud. You could say the F-35 could be procurement fraud. Stuff that happened in 96 with the Thunderbirds, if I said that name right, that's procurement fraud. There's also other procurement fraud that happens, like look at Dae-yeol protests. Even though that's not fraud, but it kind of goes on the line of like, do governments make the right choices when they are doing that? And the answer is probably not, because there's also other factors where if a state senator in a specific state has a contract, let's just say something that's in, I don't know, let's go with California, right? And then there's a contract with a company in California and they don't like where it's going, all they have to do is contact the congressman. Congressman writes a letter to like the procurement office, if you want to put it that way, for any DoD installation, and they got to contact the congressman to say why we are not using more money towards this IDIQ, towards this BPA, towards this contract. And it's kind of frustrating because at a point it's like there's no reason to do it, but you're just mad because you're not getting the money you thought you're going to get because you're afraid that your employees wouldn't pay the mortgage. Well, you know what? Don't assume you're going to get a $19 million contract when it's an IDIQ. Okay, you're probably thinking, what the freak are you talking about, Chase? You'll know if you're in the procurement realm for this movie. And so I did like that, about that. Some negatives with this movie. You get, like I said, I think some of the twists and turns were kind of iffy overall when it came to who the general was and who was behind the scenes. Because, yes, I understand that there's this character who's been out of the game for so long, but I do feel like he would have noticed some red flags of like, this is too easy, or how am I getting in this compound kind of quickly and securely while it's supposed to be this contained. So there are elements like that of unbelievability. And like I said, there's something in the third act where there's a lot of gunplay that happens and not a lot of people get shot. And of course, you kind of like, okay, throw it behind. But overall, Mission Cross, when you look at it at Netflix, it kind of looks kind of cheesy. But if you want a good, fast-paced action movie with good stunt work, good choreography when it comes to some vehicle mayhem, I think Mission Cross can float your boat. So Mission Cross will receive a 4 out of 5 with futons, which equals at 80%. So see the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics, I don't know yet, but audience score an 87% with fewer than 50. When we go to the critics, we have a couple. It says view all, but I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have 4 positive, 2 negative. So if I'm doing quick math in my head, it's a little bit above an 80. So let's go like an 83, my 80, and the 87 from the audience. Chase Leak here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Futontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm going to watch this tape tomorrow, a week from now, a month, or a year from now. Every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yes, are you a part of the mission of the crosses? That means absolutely nothing to this guy.